Time to break it down in layman's terms. We got a special guest here. We got Victor Antonio in the house, layman's terms.
Thank you for having me, Doug.
Thank you, Victor, for coming out. He's a busy man. Victor, he's a keynote speaker, a sales trainer, an author of a dozen or so books, a soon-to-be reality TV sensation star, and he's a simple, solid sales kind of guy. Vic, welcome to the show in layman's terms.
Thank you for having me, Doug.
Well, I'm glad we finally got you in.
We finally made it work.
We finally made it work because you're always jet-setting around all over the world. And he's, like I said, he's keynoted in just about every continent except, what, Greenland?
Greenland. There you go.
Greenland, you got to see this guy. If you don't see him, you'll see him in video. And let me tell you, that's why you're here today, because of video. We could talk about sales. We could talk about personal branding, which we will touch on. But let's talk about video and what made you decide to market yourself, Victor Antonio, through video. What did you make the jump to video? You're a writer, a trainer, a speaker, but you really kick ass when it comes to video.
Right. I have 12 books.
Okay.
And so I write a lot, and I was writing blogs, I was writing books, and I just wasn't getting the traffic or the response that I wanted to get. And so at that point, I started thinking about video. And because I realized that booking agents, because I'm a speaker, obviously, I want to get booked by...
They want to see you.
Yeah, they want to see you. And so this isn't a leap of faith here. It's just that they want to see you, they want to see you on video. Every time I would, for example, get a call from a booking agent, hey, we found your website, great pictures, do you have a video? How many times have you heard that question?
Yeah.
Do you have a video?
Yeah, do you have something that shows you in action? How do you engage? How do you rock a mic?
That's it. That's all they wanted to know. And so I got videos. I started using videos. So I made a conscious effort to record all the events I went to. And so until I got the right videos, and I would post them online. And then when Google bought out YouTube, I knew I was in the money, because I knew Google will start ranking videos now because they're on YouTube.
Right.
And so that was another push to go into video.
Well, video with YouTube is created your own. You have your own network, your own channel, and you got your reach is infinite.
Yeah.
And you've obviously capitalized that back in 2008. And it's not like he's done one video. He's done over 800 videos and more and counting. And what I like about it is you've been able to leverage your video to get more speaking gigs, get a network TV show, which we're going to talk about.
Right.
And just bottom line, book more business.
That's it. That's it. The thing is, I think, given the way society is today, everybody, Twitter ruined everything in the sense that everything has to be 120 characters, right? So I think people's attention spans are shrinking, right? They're almost like worse than a goldfish. 8 seconds later, boom,
you're out of there.
Yeah, and so video is very visual. It hits a part of your brain that it's more impactful. So if you're not doing video today, I just think it's a big mistake, especially if you have a product or a service.
Especially if you're a speaker.
Especially if you're a speaker, because again, the booking agents, the event planners would always say, let me see a video. I want to see you on stage. Great, you can write well, love your blogs, love your articles, love your books, but can you speak from the front of the room?
Now, on the topic of video, obviously, your video's got to be compelling. It's got to be engaging. You got to have great content that resonates with your audience.
Sure.
Same in sales. You got to bring insightful information above the obvious.
That's
and you got to have a hook.
Right.
Now, what I like about your video channels, and you've got a few on YouTube, is it's organized in categories. You've maxed out what's called the playlist concept. When it comes to sales training videos, you've got infinite number of video series.
Right.
When did you come to that conclusion? Just to make it easier for people?
Yeah, well, it started out, I have over 800 videos and counting, right?
Right.
And so my first challenge to myself, the personal challenge was, I'm going to do 100 videos, right? And
you passed that.
I passed that. So they were called Sales Influence Moments, right?
Right.
And so Sales Influence Moments, as my twist on selling was, I don't teach you how to sell, I teach you how people buy.
Right.
What makes a buying decision? How do they make a buying decision? And so once I got to the 100 videos, I realized that people were asking me, well, what about this? What about this? And I was like, well, that's number 35. Well, that's number 55.
You're counting them up.
Yeah. And they're like, okay. And so I started losing track of it myself.
Right.
And I realized that my audience, my YouTube viewers, couldn't find the videos they wanted. They wanted a specific thing, and they couldn't find it because there were too many videos. That's when the concept of the playlist came.
Okay, with the playlist, you've organized categories. Now, if you go to your YouTube channel back in the day, you've had all these playlists.
Right.
And now what you've put together is what's called seminars on selling, where you have all your heavy sales content.
Correct.
And stuff for speaker. Like if you're in sales, check out seminars on selling. If you're a keynote speaker, check out seminars on selling. If you just want to brand yourself as a businessman or marketer, check out seminars on selling. I've checked it out. You should check it out. But let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, it's a lot of video content, but it's really organized, and it makes it easy for people to comprehend what you do.
Absolutely. So the concept of Seminars on Selling at seminarsonselling.com is that I wanted to take all my heavy content, 21 video programs. So I take you from how to sell, which is your basic sales training program, and that has about 11 or 12 videos, to one of the most advanced one, which is value-centric selling, for B2B selling, and that's about 34 videos. And so the website has over 200 plus videos, but they're all broken down into individual working programs.
Now on that, check it. He's got a lot of video content, but don't get it twisted. These videos, no fluff, they're short, but to the point. Because let's face it, people aren't going to sit and watch an hour and a half video on one topic. No matter if it's you, me, or whoever.
No, people don't. I mean, look, I go on YouTube just like anybody else. I'm a consumer of video as well. And I hate the person that has to takes 10 minutes to tell me what I can tell you in 2 minutes, if not less.
Right.
And I put myself in the viewer's seat. And I said, what do they want to hear? And they want it now. It's all about instant gratification. Give me what I want to know, Victor. Don't spend a lot of time with the fluffy stuff. Get to the point.
Get to the point, and you can watch it again if you didn't comprehend it. That's the power of video, and it leverages you globally. I mean, you've got a strong reach with that. And speaking of reach, Hollywood has reached out to you.
Hollywood has reached out.
And you've got a dynamic show starting in March, so let's talk a little bit about it. Let's talk about Life or Debt.
Life or Debt. The story of Life or Debt is very fascinating. So we're talking about video, so let's put the emphasis on video.
Right.
I'm like you. I'm like a disciple of video.
Right. I see the power. Yeah. Why not?
You have to do video. I mean, again, if you're not doing video, why not?
Right. You're missing out on opportunity.
It's amazing when people don't do it. So what happened was, years ago, I was speaking at Raleigh. So I did this event, and you can find the video. It's called The Best Motivational Speech Ever.
Okay.
Yeah, I titled it that. And so some guy in the distance filmed that thing, and then about a month or two later sent me the DVD, and I posted that thing, right?
And it was just some guerrilla footage, guy in the back row.
Straight up guerrilla footage. Yeah. It was just like, we had a tripod, but he was just shooting it, with a regular camera. But yet he captured the essence of the enthusiasm, the message and the enthusiasm. So I get the video, I get the CD, I'm like, what is this? Or the DVD, and I pop it in, and I look at it, I'm like, oh my God, this guy, what a great video. I put it online, and I think today it has about 500,000 views.
Right.
That video alone has gotten me so many booking gigs that I lost count.
Right.
So that was the power of that. Then, one more thing. About a year and a half ago, it had to be about 2 years ago, a friend of mine says, I want to do a Skype call with you. Right? Skype.
Yeah, and Skype, another great video format to do. And
absolutely.
Everybody has a webcam, everybody has a computer, or on your mobile device. Skype it. Just continue, though.
So we did the whole Skype thing just like we're doing this interview, right? And so I was in Minnesota, they were somewhere else. I was visiting my in-laws. And so we recorded that Skype call. And so keep that in mind. So that's posted online. That person takes the video, posts it online. So now let's get to the new show, Life or Debt, on Spike TV. Premieres March 13th. Now, what happened was they found that motivational speech first.
Okay, they found
that video first.
Somebody shared it.
Somebody shared that video first, and they got curious. They said, well, who is this guy? He's got, I love the energy, love the way he talks.
Crazy tall guy, bald guy.
Why not?
Wears glasses sometimes. Sometimes he does it. Today he's not.
He's not. And so then, when they saw the Skype call, because the Skype call was one-on-one, it was more intimate, it was more direct, it was more personal, and they're like, okay, I think we really like this guy. Let's give him a call. And that's what prompted the folks over at Ugly Brother to call me. Mike and Tim Duffy run the production company, and they called me and says, hey, we're looking for a host for a show. When they called me up and says, we're looking for a host for a show, I'm like, really?
Okay.
Really? You only
it's not a sales trainer show. It's not.
Right.
They saw your personality. Right. They saw you on camera. They saw, hey, this guy can actually work video. He can communicate, and he's somewhat entertaining.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. And so they liked that. They really liked that. And so that began the conversation. From there, I did a screen test. And from there, I now have my own show. We have 11 episodes on Spike TV. And the rest is history, as I say. Now, all that came from the fact that they found that one video.
Right.
The first motivational video, and then they found the Skype video.
But everything's a journey. You got the JLB. You've got the dual degrees.
Right.
You've been a CEO of sales company. You've built a pedigree, but the video was a
Right.
journey that got you further in that. I mean, obviously you're still consulting, sellingergroup.com.
Right.
You're still heavy in that. You're keynoting all over the world. I think you're going to Dubai.
Dubai.
The day after
The day after the premiere.
premiere. So I
correct.
mean, as like I said earlier, he's a jet setter, trendsetter,
Yeah.
leveraging video. How do you like that? Jet setter, trendsetter, leveraging video?
I like it, man. I think I like it.
Okay.
I think I like it. I
In
think I
layman's
like it.
terms. But
Right.
I'm just really blown away that you've leveraged video, you've taken the time, but here's the thing that I really, what intrigues me about video is he's got killer content, he's engaging,
Thank
and you share it. I mean, 2 people actually shared your content.
Correct.
Think about that. Keeping it social, leveraging video. And you got to make it easy for people to enjoy your video. If they don't like it, they're not going to share it, they're not going to
agree.
comment. They may comment bad, but at least they're commenting. Either way, you've got to engage, you got to keep it social. I always preach that in layman's terms, but you're taking it to the next level. Now, life or debt, back to that. I'm really
Right.
honing in on that.
Right.
It's not a sales training show.
No.
In a synopsis of 20 seconds, what's it about? What do you do?
Families on the verge of financial crisis. I come in for 4 days. I change their mindset, and I come back in 90 days to see how they're doing.
So it's a little beginning and after, and
Yeah.
we'll see if your magic works. See if they
Right.
get their
Right. It's
finances
really,
in order.
It's really a behavior modification show. In other words, these are people, families who are struggling financially. They need an intervening force to come in, and I am that force that comes in and says, why are you doing that? Why are you spending on that? What's going on? And for 4 days, I put them through an experience. I
Right.
make them do different things to really shake them up. You know, as they say, you got to shake them up to wake them up.
Right.
That's kind of the concept of the
So
show.
you're a little edgy, a little bit more of a. You got to be. You got to push it.
I'm more of a hard ass, but it's part of my true Chicago nature anyway.
Right.
So it wasn't that much of a
Chi-town
stretch.
represent, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And so I'm a business guy at heart. I got an engineering degree, got an MBA, CEO
Right.
of a high tech company, run the businesses. I'm about business,
Right.
And so I teach these family how to run their families like a business,
Right.
and that's really the premise of the show.
And that's an awesome concept. And it starts in March, and there's going to be a lot of episodes. What else would you like to share with us today, briefly?
All right. Well, let's talk about branding.
Okay.
I think branding is an interesting concept. I'm always told, Victor, I love your branding. You're like a brand expert, and I'm like, I don't think so, because what I realized about the market. Again, let's look at it from a business standpoint,
Sure.
and let's be business people here for a second in terms of looking at branding as opposed to getting emotional about it. Branding is not about a logo. Branding is not about the colors. It's the font size. It's all these wonderful things. It's not what you say you are. Again, we know that's what the market says you are.
What the audience
Right.
portrays you as.
But how do they begin to know you? And I believe that branding begins with finding a niche. You got to find a niche. For me, it was sales, right? I know business. I can work different aspects of the business. I can work the marketing, the customer service, the leadership side. But I really enjoyed the sales, right? Because I think
That's your passion.
That's
what
my
you,
passion.
That's what you do well.
no company can exist without sales. I'm
Okay.
sorry, but you can't. No company
Right.
can exist. We are the nexus. The salespeople are the nexus of all companies. So when I looked at that, I said, I want to focus in on sales training. So that was the beginning of the branding process. I focused. Most people, I shouldn't say most people, too many people that I know, what they do is they want to talk about a lot of things. We're all good at a lot of things, but that doesn't matter. You can't go to the market and say, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. The market does not hire generalists, it hires specialists.
Okay.
And so a specialist is somebody whose focus is in. So the beginning of a branding process is to focus in on that niche, on that market.
I like that terminology. Are you a generalist or are you a specialist? But then carve your niche and go at it, and go at it hard.
Right, and go at it aggressively. So when I entered into the sales niche, right, immediately people were telling me, but there's this person out there, there's that person out there, they're real popular, and you're really going to go up against them. And I was like, I don't care.
I don't care because you do your thing different. Grant Cardone does his thing, Jeff Gittimore does his thing, Victor Antonio does his thing.
Everybody does it their own
Everybody's
way.
got their own flavor and what resonates. And what resonates with you is your subscribers.
Right.
You're getting bookings and you're getting TV gigs.
Right.
That says something. That's your social proof.
That's the social proof. But and part of that, and I'm glad you brought that up, Doug, because you look at a Grant Cardone present, great presenter. You look at a Jeffrey Gittimer present, great presenter,
Right.
right? And the one thing you have to tell yourself is that I can't present like those guys. You have to find your own style.
Right.
And so part of branding, part 2 of this now, is that there's got to be authenticity. You got to be authentic. Find your niche and then be authentic.
And it's a little bit deeper than saying just keep it real.
Yeah.
You have to be real.
Just keep it real because people can spell it. The audience can tell when you're
Right.
not being real. And when you start copying other people, they know. People
right.
know.
Gimmicks.
And so, yeah, it doesn't work. And so, if you find a niche, you're authentic. and then and I hate to use this word, but I'll use it because it's overused. When you realize that your part of your goal is to serve, and that is to give people content, great content.
And,
now,
you've done quite a great job. That he has a wealth of free content. I keep going back to his site, but it's out there. Trust me.
Now, but there's a hook to that, and I want you to be aware of this. That I like to tell you that I give all my stuff off for free because I'm altruistic and I love everybody and I love the planet.
Because I love you.
But no, yeah, because I love you. But no, the thing is, I realize that by giving people a lot of great content, they're like, who is this guy?
Right.
And next thing you know, they're like, hey, can you come train our company?
Right.
So in other words, it's part of what they call freemium, right? That's a word that's used to describe giving stuff away for free with an upsell on the back end. And for me, is I give away my videos for free, but the upsell for me is when I get booked and invited to speak or train a sales team.
Right.
That's where I get paid.
No, it's a momentum thing. Obviously, it comes down to social proof. I love that concept of what? Freemium. But at the end of the day, it's value. And again, like you like to say in sales, salespeople need to share information that's insightful above the obvious.
Right. That's it.
And it comes down to that, but also you got to have value. You've got to bring something of value with video.
That's it. And let's put an emphasis on that because anybody can do video.
Right.
Okay? I mean, I can record a puppy walking across the floor. I just got video.
Right.
But what people really want is real content, real value. And I think, if you're trying to brand yourself out there and you're trying to get above the noise, improve your signal to noise ratio where you really get above the noise and people notice you, the best way to do that is to really go back to mastering your niche. Be great at what you talk about. Be an expert. Be a thought leader in that space. Study it. Be the best. And then create videos around that so that people can see that.
Being that thought leader, that trusted advisor, but honing in on your niche is paramount.
Absolutely.
You do that. I've seen you in action training people or consulting people. You've got a formula where you take the blueprint, okay, let's scale back. Who's your target audience? Who are you and what are you trying to accomplish? And if you don't know that, then you're just going to be meandering around.
That's it. I think you could only become an expert when you really focus in on something.
Right.
And I get back to the point that a lot of people try to do a lot of different things and wind up doing nothing. They become generalists, not specialists.
Now on the word expert, you've shared the stage of Zig Ziglar, Rudy Giuliani. You've shared, so you've got some mentors out there. He's written 12 plus books, and you read a lot of books.
Correct.
So who are your mentors? What brings you to this? And I know there are a lot out there, but you're a true student of the game. You're constantly reading.
Right.
You read a lot.
I like, I go off the beaten path a litroll bit sometimes. I like, for example, Zig Ziglar, was the one that I first saw that I was like, I want to be like that guy.
When you shared that moment, right?
Right. Jim Rohn I've always loved. I mean, I love his speaking style. I mean, first of all, he's known as the business philosopher. What he says, how he says it, and I studied, the delivery systems, not so much the content sometimes. When I look at Zig Ziglar, I look at storytelling. When I look at Jim Rohn, I look at how he frames concept and how he says things because it has power. There's obscure authors that, although they're not well known, they're very good. Like Ram Charan wrote a couple of books on business and what he writes and how he writes, I love it.
And there's something about that gravitates to you, and then you draw the influence from it. You're not trying to mimic or copy, but you get that insight.
No.
And I think education is fundamental. If you stop learning, you stop training, then you become...
Yeah. I like to consider myself like a curator of information. By that I mean is I try to read about a book a week.
Okay.
Right? And so in any book I get, I'll pull out one or two nuggets easily. Right? And so then I curate that. In other words, I grab that piece of information, I index it, so to speak. I got a spreadsheet where I index it.
And then sometimes you make a video about that.
Right, and sometimes I make a video about it if I really like the idea and I give credit.
Right.
But sometimes I read something and it prompts me to think about it in the way I would deliver it. I wouldn't have said it that way, but here's how I would say it. Well, great, let me say it that way in a speech. And so I think the more you read, the more you learn, the more you gather, the more you can curate great content.
And that's just it. When it comes down to content, it comes down to value, it comes down to video, comes down to Victor Antonio. Check him out on his new reality TV show, Life or Debt. Go to his websites, watch his video. The social proof is there. And someday you'll be speaking in Greenland.
Maybe.
I appreciate the time, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks
Breaking
again,
down layman's terms, Victor Antonio. He's done big things. He continues to do big things. He continues to inspire, motivate. As Victor would say, selling ain't hard
when you know how.
Take care.